Hey, what's going on, State of Recruit? It is just Yahuwah back here again, giving you guys the news of the week, and I am joined by BO8 Fresh Beans. How you doing, Fresh?
Hello. It is the second worst opera of CSC.
The second
Recruit.
worst opera of CSC. So, unfortunately, speaking of bad operas, we're not joined by Brass Biscuit today. He had some other things come up, so it's just going to be me and Fresh Beans today. So without further ado, we're going to get into match day 5. For the first game, we have AG Blunder Battalion against Gone Fishing Guppies, going 13-9 with Blunder Battalion taking it. The MVP of the game being Lord Natron, going 22-13 with a 1.42 rating. Yeah, that was a fun one. I'll put some insight into that. It was only CT sided. The whole game was CT sided, and they obviously put up 4 rounds. I think it was like a 8-4 half going in, and we felt good about it. And then we won our pistol, and we just could not recover after that. We lost every single round after that.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's overpass, so
That would explain. I didn't actually haven't even checked the stats for this, but overpass 13-9. Yeah, pretty good.
yeah. I mean, it could have been worse. We could have had a horrible CT side, and then they just took it from us on their CT side. But we 13-9 is not bad. 13-9 is us mostly losing all of our gun rounds on T
No,
side,
that's closer than we got against Blunder Battalion.
which was match day 1, right?
Correct.
So
We ended up losing 13-8.
13-8. So on CSC it says 13-10. Is it just scuffed or?
I believe it
Probably,
is.
because I know almost all of match day 1 stuff is, there's not even
Yeah,
stats in
it
that
doesn't.
one. Moving on
Yeah,
to
it was.
the Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the server got reset, and that's conversation for later.
That's right. I think I actually remember seeing something about that in the SSD post now that you bring it up.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah, there are. Moving on to the next one, we have Peasant Pythons against Cryptid Crawlers, with Peasant Pythons taking it 13-2, and Brody being the MVP, dropping a 17-5 with a 1.54.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
that was
I
a
think
good
that
game, huh?
AJ. Oh yeah, absolutely. The in-game ADR, the server ADR and the in-game ADR are slightly different. In-game it said Brody got 130, AJ got 129.
Yeah.
But that's the only mistake I'm seeing.
Well, and it's
But
saying that AJ and Brody both together dropped a 1.54 rating, which is just nuts to me.
oh yeah, Brody and AJ are both absolutely cracked out of their minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Was that? I mean, that probably had to feel good for you guys, just absolutely
Oh yeah,
demolishing.
absolutely.
Well, I mean,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with Biggie, who has typically been around their mid frag to bottom frag, being their top rated player on FNL, and Hamlet, who's been their number 1 with multi kills and a few aces here and there, going 4-13 and dropping a 0.51. I mean, it was either you guys demolished them and they just couldn't get like a handle on it, or it was just not their night.
I think it was kind of a mix of both.
Mm.
Boa is a team that I see well, Peasant Pythons, us, we are a team based off of heavy hitters. We have, honestly, if I have to say anything, we have 4 heavy hitters and probably one of the greatest util goats in Recruit so far.
And who would you
Me.
say the util? Are you the util goat?
I'm the util goat.
You're the util goat. Yeah, I see. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, after my performance on Nan last season, I
Mm-hmm.
learned I downloaded 8 Astralis maps for utility, and I learned a bunch of useful smokes for just general takes. I learned instants. I just went around and I tried to learn as many smoke lineups as I can. And honestly, it's paid off quite well.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, you look at FRG too, and if Brass is here, he could talk about it. But in the recruit chat, he's always talking about how the top 5 util players are 3 of them are FRG, and I mean that
Oh yeah.
helps out so much knowing all those util lineups and everything like that too. So I mean, if you have good support, you can let those stars do what they need to do.
Good
And
support
I
is the
think that's
backbone
something
for
that you guys really emphasize on, especially when we played you guys, and we'll talk about that on match day 6. But moving on to the next one, we have the Roombas versus the Mulligans, with the Mulligans taking it. Oh, and I totally
this one
lost
I
the
was
score.
very
13
it
to
is
5.
13 to 5 with Big Willie taking a 1.51 21 to 11. It
That's
was
that's pretty good.
yeah, I was watching this game after our game against FNL, and I was watching it go. It was close that after the first half, and then Mulligans just took over.
Yeah, that's what it's
Like
looking
the
like.
second half, yeah, Roombas didn't get a single round that second half.
I know TK talks about how there's no TK glaze, but I'll glaze him here. Going 15 and 12 with a 1.13 rating and getting 2 first kills, 0 first deaths. So I'll glaze you on that one, TK, if you're watching. But
Oh yeah,
that one's pretty good, and it's good to see Tinsel dropping a 1.0 rating as well, because I know that he was kind of struggling to hang in there. So I'm happy for Mulligans. We played Roombas and I believe barely won on match day 4. Yeah, match day 4 we barely won in double OT. So that's good to see Mulligans still have it in them. I know that there was some questions brought up about that and maybe some roster changes, but it's looking like if they can keep that up, that there's going to be no doubt about it.
oh yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
count anybody out, especially coming into the midseason now.
Oh yeah, and from both of these teams, I'm seeing there's at least 3 incredible players on both of these teams. Like these are not sleepers.
No, not by any
Like
means.
these are all incredible players, and I noticed looking at the stats myself that JB Snipes uh was not shooting as hard as he usually does. So this isn't the usual form for the Roombas because believe it or not, the Roombas fried us on one of our best maps in a scrim.
Well, you have Nox, who's an absolute powerhouse. And
Oh
then
yeah,
you have
not
Zampolet, who's a great anchor, and then JB Snipes, who honestly he's more aggressive with the op than most of the people are in recruit, and so him being aggressive with that op, you're not ready for it on those close angles, and we got to see that firsthand last week when we played against them in double overtime. He was pushing Divider with the op, and it's like, whoa, dude, like it just catches you off guard. You're not really ready for it. You're not thinking op is sitting Divider, and so
yeah,
you're thinking long or B, or heaven.
honestly, I think I should be taking notes from JB Snipes because I want to be an aggressive shotgun opper. I just don't have the sensitivity nor the just pure aim power to do it.
Yeah, he's got great aim, and I think that's what makes him a good op for recruit for sure. He was a really good pickup for Roombas by all means.
JB Snipes definitely has the potential to be a top 3 opper in recruit. It's his playing is incredible. I mean, I think he dropped a 30. I think him and almost Nox dropped a 30 bomb against us when we were playing Mirage on a scrim. Uh, I think I think this I think match day 6, but it
I would
was
love to see how they do on Dust 2, because that is lurkers and anchors paradise as well as oppers.
oh yeah.
I feel like they would play really well on Dust 2, but we've only seen one game of Dust 2 so far this season, and that was AG and
Really?
dropouts. Yeah, it was the first and only Dust 2 game played so far, was match day
I
4.
I've noticed there's been a lot of Ancient Overpass and Anubis.
It's been a lot of it, which it's the pug map that is it's the team pug maps. And it's still early in the season. We've seen Inferno played more than Dust 2. Mirage is kind of sprinkled in. There was 4 or 5 Mirages, but
Boa has been allowed more nuke games than Recruit has seen Dust 2 games.
yes, absolutely, yeah. I've seen a lot of nukes sprinkled in there. It's pretty much everything but Dust 2 at this point.
Truly.
Moving on to the next one, we have Tadpole Titans versus the Decoys, with Tadpole Titans taking it 13-5, and Tony Dong dropping a 22-9 with a 1.47 KD. Wow, that's pretty good.
But
yeah.
Can we also talk about Cosmo's performance during this? Cosmo
1910?
dropping 1910 with a 1.38.
Cosmo's doing God's work.
Oh yeah, I have experience playing with Cosmo, and I have to say Cosmo is absolutely eligible for a top 5 place in Recruit. I have no doubts in my mind. I'm pretty sure he's in top 3 even.
I can believe it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, in FRG, they play so well with each other too.
Yeah,
they're definitely a good team.
Definitely has. Yeah, FRG has probably some of the best team play out of Recruit.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't say that their aim is as good as some of the other teams, especially playing against BOA and FNL. But I will say that their team play and their strategies make up for that, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
And then it's looking like Lather or Lathe going 5-15 and dropping a 0.53.
Yeah, it's always disappointing, and by that I mean it kind of melts my heart a little bit in the bad way whenever I see a Recruit player dropping a low rating, because all that I want in Recruit is for everybody to kind of improve in a way they can be happy with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So seeing this, I'm like, so seeing people drop low ratings, even like just a couple of times over a season, it's a great time to learn what your mistakes are. But most of the time, you're just getting outshot. You're just getting your head clicked on faster than you can click on the enemy's head.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you there by any means. That's exactly how it feels sometimes. It's either it's 9 times out of 10 just a shootout in Recruit. It's not a positioning thing, which a lot of teams I think now are focusing more on positioning and strategies, especially this season. But going into the past and stuff, it's been just straight shootouts. And so it's good to see a little bit more positioning and everything like that coming from some of these teams and strategies and everything like that versus just the, rush B Recruit style.
Yeah, I've seen and I've played on both sides of both situations, and I absolutely enjoy the mind games. I used to be a chess prodigy when I was a toddler, so I love the mind games.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all that it is. Moving on to our next one, we have the Dropouts against the Tofu Ticklers going into a double OT, with the Dropouts taking it 19-17. The MVP of this game is going to be Biggs, dropping a 32 and 24 with a 1.15. And something to note here is Tofu Ticklers Mini being their MVP, going 37 and 28, dropping a 1.28, which is great for them, but nobody else on that team dropping above a 1.
I mean, I know one of the Tofu Tickler players personally, and I know a lot of the mistakes that he makes, and I just know that with a little bit of just a small amount, he can be dropping a consistent 1.2 rating.
Is that
I know he
CW?
can. No.
Oh, CW tore our heads off on a scrim that we played on Nuke against them. I would have to look at the stat line again and find it, but he, I mean, just absolutely fried us on Nuke.
Oh yeah,
That was a
every
really good
person on
scrim.
Tofu Ticklers, every single individual player on Tofu Ticklers has the opportunity to just randomly drop a 30 bomb.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, shout out to Aquifer too, because I know that Aquifer was just picked up by Tofu Ticklers, and going 25 and 30, dropping a .97. None of these ratings are bad. They're just not the 1.0 that you really need to help bring up the team for whoever else is, falling behind. But it seems like he's making an impact already on the team. So, I mean, you love to see it.
That's my boy right there. That's my.
Oh, is that who you were talking about?
Yeah, it really was. That's my. I'm trying to think of a way that I can say this. That's my buddy. That's.
There you go.
Me and him, we've been friends for 5 years. I'm the one who introduced him to CSC after Siegel brought me in with the videos.
That's funny. Siegel brought me in with videos too.
That's incredible.
Yeah, last season was my first season because I watched a Siegel video.
Yeah, last season was my second.
If Siegel's watching this, we need more Siegel videos. Just so you know, we're out here reviving State of Recruit. Where's the Siegel videos at? Moving on to Matchday 6, we have FNL Cryptic Crawlers against the Dropouts for ACA, with the Dropouts taking it 10-13, and the MVP of that game being, oh wait, there's two Bigs. Oh wait, no, I was looking at Biggie. With the MVP being Biggs, going 21 and 11, dropping a 1.28.
Yeah, and speaking of Biggie, he'd win 21 and 14, dropping a 1.32.
I love to see it.
This is the second consecutive game that had the highest rated player in the lobby be on the losing team.
Yep.
Mini for Tofu Ticklers on the end of match day 5, and the rescheduled game, actually, I believe, between Cryptic Crawlers and Dropouts here, this very game, having Biggie dropping a 1.32.
Yeah, and I love to see it too, just because I am a Biggie fan, especially with him being on Guppies last season.
I'm just a huge FNL fan.
Yeah, everybody's an FNL fan.
I absolutely adore every single individual on FNL. I haven't met a single person on FNL who isn't the most incredible smiler in the planet. Like, they all take it.
We'll make sure that's in the video. The glaze. No,
good, because it is out of my heart.
I absolutely like everybody on FNL. They're all just good people. They always seem to pick the right people based on vibes, and it just works out for them and everything like that. So, but I'm glad to see Biggie doing well, because I know in the start of the season he wasn't doing too great, and it seems like he's really finding himself again now and starting to fry and play with the team and everything. So that's always good to see.
Players improving by large margins always makes my heart happy.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, we have the Guppies against the Peasant Pythons, going 6-13, with the Peasant Pythons taking it, and the MVP of the game being AJ, going 22-13, dropping a 1.59 rating. That was a good game. It
really was. It really was. Outside small issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I feel bad bringing it up, but it's not Scissor's rating that's the issue, because Scissor played everything amazing. Scissor actually had quite a lot of assists. Scissor was throwing utility, dropping utility for me. But it was really a game right down to the gunfights.
Yeah. Well, and looking at our player, Casimar, going 18-14 with a 1.23, I mean, even in game, you guys were like, wow, Casimar, you're doing great, And he was. He absolutely was.
I was like, oh my.
Yeah, he was. He was winning the
hands.
majority of his 1v1s for sure, and just it felt like we were just kept getting pushed in. I mean, I am proud of the Guppies because we have taken more rounds off of you guys than the past, I think, 4 games that people have played against you.
3.
So I'm 3. So the past 3 games, I'm happy about that. That makes me happy, that it wasn't just an absolute blowout. We were going into the game knowing that it was going to be a tough fight. Not saying we were going to lose or anything, but just knowing that it was going to be a tough fight, and it absolutely was. And are we happy with the loss? No, but it is what it is. We'll hopefully see you guys again.
Yeah, we were actually expecting and training for an overpass game. We were not expecting you to let us go nuke.
We were expecting an overpass game as well, and last minute we saw how the ban was going, and we're like, let's let them decide. And you guys went to nuke, because I think it was either nuke or inferno.
It was overpass, nuke, and inferno. And what I've seen is that inferno's usually your permaban.
It is, and we decided to see how we would do playing it. We were playing mind game. We were overthinking it. We were overcalculating it by a large margin. Yeah, but
you tried counter stratting to the point where you counter stratted yourself.
Yeah, a little bit, and we've had success on nuke before, but we knew that it was going to be a rough one, and we know what we have to work on for next time for sure.
Yeah,
because I did not play great.
Oh no, you played incredible. I don't care what the stats say. You were catching me in every possible corner.
16 of my deaths went to AJ outside because me and him just kept meeting head to head. And I'll tell you what, first time I saw AJ outside, it scared the shit out of me. Anybody ballsy enough to rush red like that? Yeah, dude. Yeah, you won that fight. Absolutely. I still had Molly out. I wasn't expecting just knife out sprinting to red box just to tear my head off.
Yeah, there were a few rounds where we were like, you know what? Beef, put down the calling. I have this. There were a few rounds in the T side. I think rounds 5 to 7 were all me calling. And all of those rounds, 5 including a win on our side, was just very close.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There were some really close ones in there, and I am glad that we won 2 rounds on our I believe our T side. There were some strats that we were trying and stuff, and one of them worked, another one didn't, but
your round 3 strat or round 15, that strat, use that one whenever you're playing nuke. That one just cranked our entire team.
Yeah. That's what we were looking at, and not only that, I mean, just not being able to pinpoint where you guys were playing at either. That's hard to counter.
You are welcome for that.
Yeah, that is hard to counter. But no, all in all, great game. I was really happy to play against you guys, especially with the state that you guys have been in lately, just absolute flow state. And it was kind of a toss up as to how far it was going to go or who would get it. And I'm happy with the results and happy with the game because it was just good fun Counter-Strike, just tearing people's heads off. It was good.
I don't think there was a single. I am a player known for getting tilted, and I don't think there was a single time where I was tilted that entire match.
Yeah.
I was having the time of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, 13-6. I hope so.
I'm pretty sure your team was also having one hell of a time.
We were having fun, just with the small victories. I mean, you should have heard in the comms. We'd be AJ's down, push him.
Yeah, and then you'd push into me or Brody.
Yep.
And whenever it was me, you would win it. Whenever it was Brody, you would get your head blown off.
Yeah. It was. Oh, hey, I don't think there's anybody in lobby. Let's take the space. And then all of a sudden, there you are in a corner, just mowing us down. Or Brody would be hiding and vending or something like that. Yeah, it was. You guys were playing absolute banger of a Counter-Strike game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was an incredible game out of both sides. I have a clip I need to send you that I just bullied Triple Man for. I didn't get a single. I bought up, didn't get a single op kill, and instead got a nade kill and a 5-7 kill.
I remember that. I remember that. We'll have to add that to the recording. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Did you
it was
get it
around
from Triple's
17.
point of view?
I did not.
Mm,
I just know that it was the cleanest kill that I have ever gotten with a 5-7.
I think I remember that. Was it
I
was it when you
I love
pushed?
that game.
It was Heaven, right? You were walking out
Yeah, I
Heaven.
was pushing
Yeah.
Heaven.
Yep. I
It
remember
was
that.
round 17. It was
Yeah.
round 17 for the people who like to watch how other people play in a game to try and get their strategies and try and counter them.
Note to if you're thinking about trying that, just use the op that was on his back instead. I know you had the op and you just swung that with the 5-7, and I was like, why didn't you? Like, that was the question that we were saying. Why didn't you use the op? And it's like, I'm not questioning it. If he wants to
I was out
swing
of
with the
bullets.
5-7, yeah, yeah, that was a good one. I
He
remember
ran
that. But moving on to our
I
next one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
was shocked. I was shocked just as much as everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next game.
Moving on to the next game, we have Tadpole Titans against Blunder Battalion, with Blunder Battalion taking it, and the MVP of the game being Kiddo, going 26-11, dropping a 1.50 rating. Wow. That's a rating for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, this is Kiddo finally coming on to the bounce back and finally coming in and saying, "Hey, I'm still a contender. My mental is back."
Absolutely.
Because what I noticed is I think it was match day 3 whenever they went up against the dropouts, Blunder Battalion just was on the verge of fumbling almost every single game, but they took the game, and every game has been close for them.
Yeah, and that's something that we
Uh,
brought up last week too in State of Recruit was
yeah,
Kiddo and Kydro, not like they weren't putting up bad stats, right? Like you're saying, they're not playing bad, they're not putting up bad stats,
they're not
but it's
playing
not their
poorly.
potential either. It's not what they
Yeah,
essentially got picked up for. And
Kiddo
so,
dropped a 1.4. Kiddo dropped the highest rating in CSC, period, in combines.
yeah,
A-
there were
and it wasn't close.
no, and there were talks of him going to prospect, and he still managed to stay in recruit, which I think is awesome for him. But
I do not understand how.
I don't understand how either. But that's neither here nor there. That's for the committee to decide. But yeah, I mean, absolute crazy player, cracked player. Him and Kydro, and Kydro still dropping almost a 1.0, going 14-16 is still good. But yeah, just absolutely cracked player and cracked plays coming from Kiddo. So it's good to see that he's back up to where he was at the start of the season, was in combines and everything like that, and has his mental reset. Because I was saying that it's like putting a bear in a corner or something like that. You can only get
It
cornered
was
so much before he starts fighting back, and that's what we're seeing again.
it really was just whenever AG lost against the dropouts, which was match day 4. Okay. Because if I look at AG versus GF, Kiddo, oh, never mind. Kiddo dropped a 1.4. I do not know my stuff.
Moving on to the next one, we have the Mulligans against the Decoys, going 13-7 with the Mulligans taking it. Humby being the MVP of the game, going 19-17, dropping a 1.27. A 1.27 rating.
Yeah, and Fast Runner on the decoys, dropping a 1.36, going 21-13, which in a 13-7 game, that is incredible.
We've been seeing a lot of good stuff come out of Fast Runner. I think it's good for him. He's been in the FA pool, and it looks like he's been a really good pickup. So I'm really happy to see that he's just been absolutely frying lately.
Yeah, ever since Mulligans, or not Mulligans, sorry, the images are flipped on my
Yes, yeah, they are
site
on mine
here,
too.
and that is confusing me. But yeah, what I've noticed is ever since Michael Sark, no, that's no Michael Burt, Michael Burt P got put onto inactive reserve, got put on the bench. Fast runner got picked up. It felt like Nan has been more. Well, it feels like the decoys are a lot more cohesive.
Yes, yeah, I see what you're saying. Absolutely.
But the biggest thing that they've struggled with that I'm just looking through the stats and I'm seeing is they are really struggling with their consistency. I mean, even if we look at Thui's rating here, it's a 0.89. And if we go to match day 5 and find the decoys, Thui dropped a 1.15 and top scored among the whole team.
So you're
And
saying they're just
fast
not
runner.
consistent enough, you know?
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, and that's something that was true for last season's decoys as well. I was
Yeah.
there, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it sucks too looking at lather scores between match day 6 and 5, not really getting anywhere close to at least a point 0.8. That really sucks for him, going 5 and 18, dropping a 0.58. I know that he could be a really good player, so it's just, maybe it's just
Yeah.
not the season, maybe it's just not the game, maybe it's just not the team, but we do know that he is a good player. He was a grand finals uh playoffs player.
Yes.
So,
Both of the lowest rated players on each team, both of them are some of my hot pickups or my hot shots, I'll say. Um, HLTV does it for the top 20. They get their like bold predictions. That's what it is.
yeah.
Soul and Lather were
Mhm.
both in my bold predictions list because I've seen how both of them play, and both of them they both seem like they're just not in the right roles.
And whether it be the right roles, right people, there's so many factors that go into it. You have Lather who's put up good scores last season. He just needs to find where he can get into that flow again of where he was last season. And it's a completely different team too. It's just depends on the mental going for it.
Truly, the mental battle is the most important one in all of Counter Strike. There's nothing more important than the mental battle.
Absolutely. Moving on to our next game, we have Roombas versus Tofu Ticklers, with Tofu Ticklers taken at home, and CW being the MVP, going 20 and 12 with a 1.28 rating, which is,
Inferno.
yeah, another Inferno game, which is great to see because I know that they lost their double OT on match day 5. So, there's, what we just talked about. There's CW just going in and clicking heads.
It's all of the people who were not performing as well as we know that they can.
Mm-hmm.
It's all it's all of those players who in this game just cranked up the dial to a 12 out of 10.
Yep.
I mean, I'm seeing CW 1.28, Ramia 1.24, and Bun with a 1.23. That is incredible. And this is yet another game where the top rated player in the lobby is on the losing team.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you go over, there's JB Snipes dropping a 1.0, which is way different from just 2 days before that. So that's good on him. And Zampolit, how we were talking earlier, that it's a losing team, but he still had the highest rating out of everybody in the lobby.
People who can do that, they teams should keep their eyes open for players who can do that, especially during the combines and on season. And if they pull it off during playoffs, that's how you know they are a really good player and they just don't have the right support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, dropping a 1.31, it's not too far off from the 1.28 that CW dropped, but it's still the next one up and then that is JB Snipes at the 1.0. So it was Zamplet that I'm sure was really keeping them around in that, and going 7 and 13, that's the difference between winning pistol and not at that point. And
It really is.
they won their first pistol, first two pistol rounds, or pistol and force, however
Pistol
it
and
went.
conversion.
Yeah, the first two rounds, and then they just right after that, as soon as they lost that last of half, just could not get back into it. For
By the
whatever
looks
it be.
of it, yeah, by the looks of it, it was based on momentum because I see bomb explosion, kill, kill, bomb explosion.
Yep.
That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then they just come right back with another 5-round streak for a 7-5 half, and they just can't pick up another round on the T side.
Yeah, tragic. I mean, to be dropping stats like that and still losing it can weigh down on your mental for sure.
Exactly. This is another example. This team has another example of one of my. I can't even call it a hot take. This player is just way too good. This player absolutely just had an off day. Nox.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
remember Nox in combines, and Nox in combines I think dropped like a 1.2, like somewhere around like 1.15 to 1.2.
Well, and Knox being an early pickup in draft too, everybody knew that he's going to be a great player. And
Yeah.
me not knowing too much about the history of Knox, I could already tell playing combines with and against him that he was a good player as well. So it really sucks to see him all the way at the bottom. And it really is just day to day so far in recruit. We've seen so many upsets, so many different people being on top that we never thought that we would see, and so it just keeps going day to
Yeah.
day depending on the person.
And this is what I say to my teammates. This is what I say to my enemies. This is what I say to keep morale up. It's the same thing. Every single time that someone doesn't perform the way that they think they should have, I always say everybody is inconsistent. There is no way you can be perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely well said.
Like everybody has great days where they're dropping a 1.31, and then the next day they can just drop. It all depends. The fact that what you eat the day before the match can play a toll on how well you play. That is it. Really, every minute counts.
Oh, absolutely. And
I
there's
take this game
superstitions that go
really
into it too.
Oh yeah. One of my superstitions, and this is gonna be a tell. I don't buy an upgraded pistol whenever I buy an op, because more often than not, I would lose the round without picking up a kill.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. My superstition is I always just have 2 white monsters every game day.
I understand it.
Yeah, that's literally it. 2 white monsters and upper decky. Something that
Sounds
I
like a
do.
time.
Actually, you know what? I do have a superstition. If we have a bad scrim right before the game, I get up and I wash my hands. And I think I've told this before on State of Recruit, but I get up, I wash my hands of that game, and I will go and physically wash my hands. Soap, water, the whole nine. If you don't use soap, you're weird. But soap,
Truly.
water, wash my hands, and then I dry them off, get the mental reset, and sit back down and play the match.
Yeah, taking 5 minutes to take a walk. That's what I do. We play a scrim. I will turn off my mouse. I will plug it in, and I will walk to the other side of my house, and I will stand there for just a couple of minutes doing absolutely nothing. And
Yeah.
then I will come back. And that is how I reset my mental every single time. I recommend anybody watching this, try it out. It will work. It will.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just need a breath. You need a breath. You come back. You get a headshot, and it's just different for you. That headshot feels like it's just a game changer for you individually. Moving on to our scheduled matches for next week. On match day 7, we have Blunder Battalion against Cryptic Crawlers, Guppies against Tofu Ticklers, Mulligans against Peasant Pythons, Roombas against Tadpole Titans, the Dropouts against the Decoys, and then match day 8, we have Cryptic Crawlers against the Mulligans, Peasant Pythons against the Roombas, Tadpole Titans against the Dropouts, the Decoys against the Guppies, and Tofu Ticklers against Blunder Battalion. We're looking at some
I
good
am excited
matchups.
for every single one of these games. All
Absolutely.
of the I have been seeing this probably since around the beginning of the season, and I have just been thinking match day 7 and match day 8 are going to be must watch games, must watch days out of every single team. I've been excited specifically for match day 8, Peasant Pythons versus Roombas. I have been excited about that ever since we got the schedule for the games. And I even I even ended up DMing my friend on Roomba's Nox. I ended up DMing him like, "Yo, we're taking our game to Nuke, right?"
Gentleman's nuke decider right there.
Gentleman's Nuke.
Gentleman's nuke. Can't go against it. It's a gentleman's nuke. It's a handshake.
Absolutely.
Handshake through the server. Yeah, I'm excited for the FNL against AG.
I have to agree.
I think that's going to be a really good one. AG has had, an absolute killer season so far. As of you
FNL
guys.
just needs a little bit. I feel like FNL has had their time to ramp up, and this upcoming week and this next week they are just going to be steamrolling whoever they face.
Yep.
I do not doubt that in any sense. I mean, everyone on FNL can drop a 1.5 out of nowhere.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, with them picking up Zolf lately too, they picked him up. I think it was match day 3. He officially played for match day 3 and 4, and he was just dropping absolute kills. I mean, putting
His
up double
first game
digits
was
numbers.
like a 1.67.
Yeah, crazy, right? All he had to do was ponder the orb.
Was almost a 1.8,
Yeah.
almost a 1.7. Like, that is insane stats to be putting up.
First time on the team.
Yeah.
Yep.
First time on the team too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with them losing these past 2 games, I mean, it's the same thing that we talked about earlier with Kiddo. You put them into a wall and they got nowhere else to go but to fight. And so I think with a, good weekend in front of them and a lot of practice and stuff that they're going to come out kicking and screaming. And they're going to be throwing people into walls. So I'm excited to see it, especially with them against AG. It's going to be shooter versus shooter, and I'm excited to see the matchup. I'm hoping for, triple OT just to really see the stress put on and see some really good games and get some really good clips out of it.
Honestly, I'm hoping for a Dust 2 match, quadruple overtime. I'm hoping for a barn burner that is entertaining.
Yeah, that's all we want. Just entertaining games.
Yeah, something like if NIP versus AmCal was not.
I do not wish that on my worst enemy. I do
Yeah,
not
I
wish
really said
AmCal versus NIP on my worst enemy. That one hurt to watch.
M80 versus Fnatic.
There we go. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I hope does not happen.
That's the one I want to happen.
That one was proper hell.
That's the one I want to happen. Absolutely. Just long game, tons of Counter-Strike, neck and neck. That's what I want to see happen.
Oh, yeah. Something good. And no crazy whiff.
Absolutely. Moving into our... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's where I was ending anyways.
Moving into our standings so far for this recruit season, we have Blunder Battalion number 1, Peasant Pythons number 2, and Tadpole Titans number 3. Dropouts 4, Cryptic Crawlers 5, Mulligan 6, The Guppies 7, Tofu Ticklers 8, Roombas 9, and the Decoys number 10.
I just want to put out that this Boa slander can no longer continue. Boa has the largest round differential in recruit, and it is nowhere close. It is well over double.
The boa slander will continue until morale improves.
I mean, 90% pistol, 72% CT, 65% T. Like we faced AG and we stopped messing around.
Yes, absolutely. No, I mean your guys' win differential, and that's gonna help you so much in head-to-heads for anything too. It was literally you and AG just having the same win-loss. That's all it comes down to. And
Yeah.
I don't know
And
how
then
you
it
guys
just
aren't
went
winning the
straight to
head-to-head.
head-to-head.
Yeah, it went straight head-to-head, and I don't
We're
know
not
how you
winning the
guys are still
head-to-head.
losing it. I don't get it. I don't get why not.
Because we had our first game.
Oh man, that
Match day
sucks.
1, Blunder Battalion, Peasant Pythons.
So, moving into our next segment, I got some fun for us. We're going to be doing CSC Fantasy. So, I already have my lineup picked. I know that I asked you to do your lineup. So, who do you have as your opper?
I have had the same opper every single week, and I think it's pretty obvious. It's Kiddo.
Really?
Kiddo is my
Okay.
opper.
Yeah.
Kiddo's been my keeper this whole time. I could even go back and what do you know? I mean, highest MMR and recruit possible.
Yep.
It and Kiddo's stats, Kiddo's play style, it just fits in perfectly with a high level player.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I went the opposite. I went with Biggie. Just because of the stats that he's put up these past 2 weeks. I think we see the comeback of Biggie, and I fielded him, I rostered him. I can't tell you who I had last week because I don't remember, but I do know that I'm expecting to see Biggie get me some points for this.
Yeah, Biggie has a 14% roster rate versus Academics Biggs with a 37%.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
Kiddo isn't even on here for me.
I can look.
Probably
Kiddo is 44% rostered with a 62.8 projection. So I'm taking a gamble on Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie has 72.3, but Biggs has 107.1.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then there's me with the 53.9.
Well, see, I went for a good MMR budget with a fully rounded. We'll get to mine, and you'll see what I did with the MMR budget.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
As did I. I think my fantasy team would actually be a good team.
I think my fantasy team would be an absolute banger of a team too. For my support, I put Trains from FNL.
Again, so did I.
Yeah, good, absolutely. I think he is probably one of the best supports on there. I don't know why it has me on support. I am not a good support. But I will say shout out to the 2 people that rostered me. I'm at 2% rostered or whatever it is. So shout out to you guys. I let you down last game, but not the game before.
A 66.9 projection.
My rifler, I have AJ. Because why not? Who wouldn't
As
pick?
Does everybody. I would too if I wasn't
quite
on
literally
team.
Everybody else. Who do you have?
I wasn't allowed to pick AJ, but AJ actually does not have even close to the highest roster rate of any rifler.
Really?
Considering that I see, Nox and Hunter Guy both have 24%.
Those are also good players. Absolutely.
Incredible.
Who do you have as your rifler?
I wasn't allowed to pick AJ due to being on the same team, but I have Kydro.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good pick. I like that.
I have 2 players on 2 teams each.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 4 players, 2 different teams, and then for my flex, the only person that is not on the same team as the other 2 people or 4 people is Nox for my flex.
That's a good one. That is a good flex.
That is a good flex.
Nox is a usually very, very great entry. Sorry, usually a very great entry, and I've played against Nox. Nox counters my playstyle perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, a great entry is going to know how to counter 90% of
Yeah,
the hits, you know.
truly, yes. And my flex, and I'm gonna choose my flex at the bottom because I'm not really caring too much about this. My flex that's not on the same team as everyone else is academics street. I think his name is
Yeah, Street.
STR3T.
Yeah,
Yeah, street.
Street. Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. That's another great pick, a solid pick. You know, and it depends on the week with him too. But I could definitely see you getting some points off of that for sure. He's never had a bad game. You know,
I don't think he can.
I don't think so
I don't think
either.
he can. In
I mean, such a highly rated player too, and that's a great flex to have, especially for the MMR cap that he is. But my last flex is actually Fresh Beans.
Yo, hey.
Yep. So my whole entire roster right now is Biggie, Trains, AJ Knox, and Fresh Beans.
What's your MMR on that then?
1,098. So
Wow.
just shy of the 1,120.
Well, my final player is another player that we have discussed in great attitude here. It's Zolf on FNL.
Good pickup. I couldn't afford Zolf with my MMR
Oh, I
rating.
could. My MMR is way down, and I'm a little afraid about it. But I know all of these players can really kick up a gear, kick up 3 gears, maybe a 4th. But if I wasn't on a team, I think I'd have a very different. I would have a very different fantasy roster.
Well, and that's why I'm glad I'm not on your team, so I could field you and AJ, and I can also field
Yeah.
Trains and Biggie. You know.
Honestly, I would have Kiddo, AJ, and Brody. Those
Yeah.
are
Yep.
3 heavy hitters.
You could throw
They're
a dart
almost
at your
always gonna be-
guys' lineup and hit somebody that you should field in the fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, there's Beef, there's Scissor, there's me, there's AJ, there's Brody. All of us are incredible players, each in our own. I mean, there are rounds, yes, where I don't do too well. I'm the small site player. I play the sites that people don't go to usually.
Mhm.
I play the roles that don't get me stats. I
But in the
play the
same
roles where
time,
I'm allowed to throw utility. I'm playing roles that allow me to just play the way that makes me the most comfortable, and I'm so happy I was allowed to do that this season.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, 100%. And I mean, again, like you're saying, you know, you're playing those roles, but at the same time, you're putting up really good stats too. And so it's, you
I'm
know,
putting
a
up
trade up.
it really is. I'm putting up the best ratings I have put up in CSC probably ever. I mean, especially in the game against the decoys. I remember I dropped that what was it, a 1.04 or something like that.
Yeah.
We all played out of our mind, and immediately right after the FNL versus Nan game happened, and that put in the infinite quote, the infamous quote that I actually ended up getting the overtime amount wrong on.
I don't think I know that quote.
Uh,
So this is my first season in recruit. I was in prospect last season. So any recruit lore I'm catching up on still.
this recruit lore was put into the it was put into, if I go into, come on, where is it? I can't find it. But it was Nan throws against us, but against you they take you to triple OT.
Ah, I do remember. Okay. I did see that. And yet you want the slander to stop.
Yeah.
No, that is a
I
famous
just
quote.
realized I am 21st overall.
Are you on
in
analytical or
fantasy.
fantasy?
Fantasy. Yeah, 21st overall in terms of fantasy points. And I choke that up to not being able to pick AJ or Brody
Yeah.
or Beef. It's the double-edged sword of being a part of the best team.
Well, and you go
in
past
the tier.
the top 3 and almost every single person is picking at least somebody from BOA, and almost every single time it's AJ.
Yeah.
You know, look at who
It's
Sweetmeat has. He has Kiddo, Sweetmeat, AJ, Zamplet. Wait, how is Sweetmeat able to pick himself? Hold up.
you are able to pick yourself.
Oh,
You
are
are
you
able to
really?
pick yourself, but
Oh,
not your team.
it told me I
Yes.
couldn't. Huh. But yeah, he has you, Zamplet, AJ,
What?
himself, and
Why did it
Kiddo.
tell you that?
I don't know. I wouldn't have picked myself anyways, if we're being honest here.
I did that a couple times.
Well, that is all of our segments for this week's State of Recruit. I appreciate you joining us, Fresh Beans. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
It's been an honor to be here.
And for everybody watching at home or listening while they're working, thank you guys for joining this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so that way you guys get the newest, freshest updates on the weekly recruit status. And we'll see you guys next week.